Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm Violet. I appreciate you joining me. Are you ready for some fast changes about to occur or already happening in your life? We're going to dive in, see what's going on with the energy today and what would be the most helpful for you. This is a timeless reading, so whenever it finds you, it's perfect. Trust that divine, beautiful, direct connection you have to your higher self, God, source, the universe. The answer is always found in you, and try to make balanced decisions so that we can all help uplift each other in love. Let's actually dive right into the tarot and see what these changes are all about. It's like you're hitting that Star Wars like warp speed here. So it could be something that happens unexpected, or it could also be a domino effect. You know, one quick change leads to, a door opening, or you heading in a different direction. I hear opportunities abound. So let's dive into the tarot, see what God, source, Holy Spirit, Grace, consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest and greatest good of all. I actually see like literally a deer in headlights. So if there's a lot going on around you, the best thing you could do is move with the flow of energy. Take a step. It is telling you here to be bold. A lot is going to change in a short amount of time. So let's dive right into the tarot and see what is changing, what you should focus on, and what would be helpful to know about with these fast changes. Things happen suddenly in a short period, and ooh, those are big changes, and in a hurry. Take bold steps forward. Well, this is definitely somebody who knows how to take bold steps. You got the Emperor coming in. I like how he looks so comfortable. He also kind of looks like he's sitting on a beanbag that also looks like Mars. So maybe there is a Mars action-oriented energy, and yet he's relaxed. He's holding, I think he's holding the Queen there. So this could be an Emperor, masculine, Aries. Doesn't have to be like energy who is thinking about a divine feminine, or it's like he doesn't have the chessboard there. He doesn't want to play games. He just wants to hold his last move in his hands, or he's maybe foreseeing something in the future, but with a relaxed energy. I like the Emperor. I feel like that, that skull on the wall is important. Maybe somebody has something like that. It reminds me of the Southwest. He also has a tattoo on his forearm. He is standing on a checkerboard here, but he doesn't have like a small little game in front of him. It's like he's on the playing field. I just heard refusing to play any games. He doesn't want to play games. He's the Emperor. This is somebody who absolutely is solid with, think of it as, all masculine energy, even if this is a feminine. So the provider, wanting stability, the pursuer, I hear the builder, but this could be a boss energy. I hope she's not loud. She sees a chippy outside. Let's see why the Emperor is here. Now, if this is upside down, it could be someone who's, my way or the highway. And in that case, we'll just take a little look, see if anyone is around this Emperor. They're probably only there because of his status, because of what he can provide, or maybe even sometimes out of fear because they have to be. But upright, everybody wants to be in his kingdom because he wants his whole entire kingdom to flourish. Everyone to feel successful, not just him on his beanbag. I love it. It looks like a beanbag. All right, so let's see. Why is it could also be, if this is not you, there could be an Emperor coming into the mix. Maybe he found his queen, or this could be somebody that's really helpful. Maybe even giving advice on how you can build your own kingdom, whatever that is. With like this card here, it does look like open doorways. So he could be opening the door for you, helping you get a job, hiring you. But I feel like you're doing something more on your own, and he has some advice to get you there faster. It could also be that out of the blue, in walks an Emperor on his Mars 3D printed beanbag. So tell us a little bit more. Why is the Emperor here? Oh, wow. Yeah, there's something coming in fast, quick, and beautiful. Look at how even in that pool of the unknown, or whether it's water or universe, it's the flower of life. It's, you know, that sacred geometry which all creation comes from, where there is an expansion. But I don't see it as a flat, like, crop circle here. Picture it more in a 5D where you're only seeing the 2D or 3D imprint. But that is something that is, you know, spherical and moving all at the same time. Maybe you're really into sacred geometry. She's holding a crystal which specifically looks like an amethyst, which is a very, you know, connects to the purple crown chakra, higher vibrations, but there's also a calmness about it. I like how she's holding a crystal, which is a living thing. Maybe it's looking at the different structure, because I keep seeing, like, you know, sacred geometry, molecular level of how the initial molecules are, because the structure of, let's say, black tourmaline is going to be different than amethyst, is going to be different than diamond. I think diamond is more of like a cube or a square, which is why it's so strong. Maybe you're looking into why crystals are important, because it's not just a pretty thing you put on your shelf. It's also in your watch. It's in your computer. I'm getting physioelectricity. You know, when it has a bunch of friction on it, it lights up. It has electricity in it. It also holds memory. The Fool, also with that 0, I like that it's the 0 because it's stepping through the portal. Maybe the portal was a little square doorway before, and now it's, I get like even a connection of masculine and feminine. Because when I think of the feminine energy, I think of more of the Fibonacci sequence or a spiral staircase. The Fool is getting ready for a brand new beginning. Maybe this Emperor is really needing, wanting, or not expecting, but diving into a new beginning. It's a leap of faith. It's knowing that, you know, whether you, I feel like she's doing I just heard Free Fallin'. That's a nice song. Whether she does a free fall, trusting that the universe or the Emperor is going to catch her. Either it's water or the universe is the portal here, or that's like a beautiful safety net from the universe saying, we got you, you're good. Take that leap. Step into what is unknown, what is yet to be discovered. It's having that wide-eyed wonder, like you don't know. It feels exciting, so get excited. And if you are a little nervous and you're kind of looking down there, you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to go through the portal. Maybe you have to stick a toe in and not a big leap. That's okay. If big changes are coming all of a sudden, trust yourself. With this Emperor energy, whether that is you or who is coming in or who you're thinking of, you have to embody that energy here. That it does say, take bold steps forward. The I am, the yes, you're going to do it, and pursue. Take one step at a time. Trust yourself. The Fool. Also, don't be a dumbass. Don't be a dumbass. If you are the Emperor, you've learned some lessons from, you know, that kingdom being built. Sometimes the kingdom falls down. You do it differently the next time. But if you learned a big lesson, now you don't have to relearn that lesson. So, you know, if the Fool's upside down, it can be saying, don't be a dumbass. If you see a red flag, if you know that smells a little weird over there, or you've been around this block before and that didn't work the last time, don't go down the dark alley. Go a different way. Maybe it's a new way. It's using your gut, but it's also knowing that even if you're a little, I'm getting like tense or nervous, you know, if this is your first time doing something, you're never gonna know unless you try. So the Fool, 0, and the Emperor, 4, maybe 40. Someone's 40 years old. 40 days and 40 nights. That's a song. I might have even gotten the number wrong, but I just thought of cumbersome. to, I'll find it and I'll put it below for you guys. Cumbersome, and I think it's Seven Mary 3 that sings that. I don't even know if they had any other songs other than that song. I like it's kind of more like rough and raw. I like it. Like 90s rock, 2000s, I don't even know. All right, let's see what is beyond this pool. Or what do you need to know about jumping into that beautiful seed or flower of life net? It could be that you're also connecting the dots on something. I like that she's holding a wand as well. So she has her own support, or he has his own support system, or it's being a support to yourself. So what you're looking into is taking a leap of faith, you know, starting to build this kingdom or make this brand new connection, because it can be a brand new connection with the Fool and the Emperor, but it's a brand new connection that has total potential that goes into the long term. Brick by brick, you can build something beautiful. And this could be a business partnership. But if the Seven of Wands is coming through upside down, there's no need to have to defend this leap of faith to anyone else. It's having the higher ground and feeling at peace, even if there are energies around you that do not understand why you're doing something or why you're going a certain direction, especially if it's really new, or why you're building something over here. Maybe they don't need to know. Trust you have the higher ground. Relax your energy like this guy in his beanbag. And she even looks like she's just looking away, turning her cheek, going in a different direction. And I like she actually has like one of those pillows like I have. Like I sit outside with the readings on a pillow like that. Also, barefoot means she's grounded, and it looks like she has a little fire or sunshine in her belly. So it is trusting your gut. It's also that solar plexus, believing in yourself energy. Sometimes you do have to defend yourself and speak up. And sometimes if you're gifted that higher spiritual perspective, you know when it's worth defending something and when it's just not worth your time. Maybe you felt like you, in the past, stalled on, or he stalled on a leap of faith because you didn't think you'd be understood, or you felt like you had answered a lot of questions. I'm getting that. Oh, maybe we should go to this deck soon. In here, in my mystery deck, I have one that says, but what will they think? Who cares what they think? Let them think whatever they want. What do you think? What do you believe? You know, what do you know you've gained confidence with because of what you've spiritually gone through? The 7 is also an expansive number. That's that road of destiny, like the Chariot. It is a moving energy. So maybe before you have to make some pretty bold moves, it's okay to just relax and meditate. Be in that balance so you don't feel like you're also running on empty with something. She also it's like the 0. When I see that 0, I always feel like it is protection. She does look like she's in this bubble of protection here. Being protected by an emperor, or knowing that you can handle something on your own. So let's see. It could also be that you are gaining new insight that something you thought would be against you is actually something that was supporting you the whole time. Or if there was an over-perception or over-projection that there were people at the end of these sticks, or, you know, energies that were holding on to something directly pointed at you. Maybe there's not even anything at the end. And these are all just different spiritual energies, because they're all different colors. Like the chakras coming into alignment, where you can handle more than you thought on your own. Or the right supportive energies are gonna maybe even question you a little bit. You know, if this emperor goes out in the kingdom and he doesn't ask questions like, hey, kingdom, how's it going over here? Got off my beanbag throne and I'm wondering how you feel. Are you growing? Do you feel like, you know, you're thriving over here? And what if he's asked some hard questions like, yeah, I mean, this is going okay, but I feel like there's a problem in this arena of the kingdom. And, you know, have you ever thought about maybe doing something like this? Like, if he's upside down, do not question the emperor, but maybe some questions actually get you thinking. Even if it's a harsh question, that can be what, you know, brings expansion and growth. I just stared at that. Maybe we need to keep that as our foundation. You got the Wheel of Fortune. The only little minor arcana energy is this little 7 of Wands. You got the Fool, the Emperor, and now the Wheel. So yeah, something's going to change really fast. The wheel is always going to spin. How do you handle those changes? It's finding your center with whatever spins. I feel like somebody tried to spin the narrative and now you're flipping something back in the right direction. There's not just one wheel here. There's actually a bunch of different wheels. And you are up there, open, in tree pose. So maybe you are rooted at the top of this wheel. Definitely at the top of the, I wanted to say the world, even though it's the wheel. And it even looks like, maybe I just need my glasses. I was going to say she got some boots on. It looked like was a heel in the back. So maybe somebody was digging in their heels or digging in their boots. And now just see, like, even like if somebody's at the top, I don't know what this is, but like, you know, those old like lumberjack things where they have different, I don't know, like different things that people do, like kind of like, you know, Ninja Warrior, but for lumberjacks. And they have the big logs on the water and you have to run on top, almost like a cartoon. If that wheel is spinning, you found the right balance, or, you know, the right route, where even if it keeps spinning, you remain composed at the top or at the elevated perspective. I hope that made sense. It was kind of weird to say. It's like people that can balance on something. I'm just thinking of even those shows where it's like whoever's got talent and they have like, you know, a table and then there's a ball and then there's something else and then a stick and then the person goes up at the top and then they're doing a handstand on that shit. It's like, that's you. So if you were underneath or you had to fall off a couple times, it's okay, because that's how you ended up like really getting some balance. Sometimes I do see the wheel as a trip or getting on the road, taking control of the wheel. Look at her necklace. It's those dice that you actually see, the fuzzy dice in like the cool classic cars, or maybe the, you know, your pickup truck. So maybe it is rolling the dice, or how you play the hand you've been dealt with. Taking a chance. It is the Wheel of Fortune. So your fortune's about to change. Believe it's all coming in for the best. Even if you get, you know, off track or hit a rough road, now you really know how to adjust your gears. So, all right, let's go. I mentioned this, the mystery deck. So let's just get you a couple of bonus mystery messages that maybe are some extra things to know about, to look at, to be aware of. What are some extra bonus messages? 7 of Wands, the Emperor, the Wheel, the Fool, and fast changes. I just heard Fast Car, the Tracy Chapman. He's got a fast car. Oh, I like that song. All right, what would be the first bonus message? Meet me in the middle. Maybe it's about compromise. Or maybe if you are working with somebody, I mean, I like, actually, what I forgot to say, or maybe I didn't forget, but this is supposed to come through now. if you're not around the wheel or hanging on for dear life or up there, you know, like a lumberjack lady man and having this wheel spin, then the best thing you can always do is to find your center. Be that, you know, center spoke of the wheel. You know, center yourself, because then nothing's going to get you out of alignment, no matter how fast or slow. I don't know why I just saw a flat tire. No matter how flat or full that wheel is, no matter if it's a wooden wagon wheel. Isn't that another song? Wagon wheel? Rock me mama all night long. Or if it's, you know, I'm seeing the weirdest images today. If it's one of those weird bouncy things that you can get inside and you like roll around in it like a human hamster wheel, maybe you're out of the human hamster wheel. Or maybe you have that bubble of protection, so no matter how rough the terrain is, you can bounce your way through it. Also, maybe somebody's about to meet you in the middle instead of, which is nice. That does feel like it's equal reciprocity. What is another message? Future gratitude. You do have the Wheel of Fortune, but even with this, I feel like I left it in there, but I always questioned it every time it came out after I wrote it. Future gratitude should already be in the now you're in. Don't wait to the future to have gratitude to what's around you now, what is changing in your life, how far you've already come. It's being in that now energy of gratitude that brings more of it into the future. So, I mean, I like this with the Wheel of Fortune. Just know that something, whatever's changing fast, you know, or how that pace may flow, something beautiful is coming in. Changes are for the better for you. What is another bonus message? And if you are doubting yourself, remember there is always a way. If you come to a hiccup or a closed door or a block or a mountain or a rough road, whatever, there's always a way. So if it doesn't work one way, turn your head and look a different direction and try something a different way. Color outside the lines a little bit. You know, you keep going through that tunnel that's like the Star Wars warp zone, and you just get door after door after door after door, but you don't ever feel like you're having any expansion, like these doorways aren't getting bigger. Maybe you need to pause, stop, and say, I kept going through those doors, but I think between those neon doorways, there's just a universe the other way. Maybe I'm not going to go the way that is lit up before me, but I'm going to light my own path. Sometimes it's the unusual way. Let's get one more. One more, please, and thank you. I just saw that, like, all that like neon, like number kind of energy. If somebody can't compute, maybe that was you in the past. You know, maybe you need a reboot, or maybe somebody else needs to reboot. If there's something that is misunderstood or seems really confusing, I am getting just a big reboot, an update in the system, an unlearning. You know, if someone's going by the old programming, maybe that is not in alignment with this Star Wars energy over here. If, you know, I see that wagon wheel now. You know, if you are hundreds of years ago, or you never saw a car before, and, you know, you're on your horse and buggy, and all of a sudden a spaceship comes down, I mean, you don't know what that is. Or let's just say a time traveler comes into the mix and they're like on their cell phone. What is that? There's nothing to compare it to help compute. So sometimes there does need to be a little instruction manual and or a demonstration to really see what it is. Or there could have been somebody that was perceiving something because what they had to compare it to was absolutely beyond what is presented to them. So maybe also give somebody a little grace if they just don't get something. But I feel like whoever can't compute wants to. They want to understand something. They want to figure something out. Maybe that's a learning process. But I keep seeing like a manual or somebody, like I don't know why I see that time traveler thing. I see somebody like handing that phone over and letting them play on it. Because if somebody's just like, here's the manual, this is what it's like 400 years into the future, there's such a disconnect there. But you know, when you do something and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to give you this, play around with it and see if you figure it out. Maybe that person's going to suddenly become an expert because they're in that full energy. Like, wow, this is so amazing. What else can I try? I'm just hitting buttons all over the place here. So it could be that somebody that doesn't even know what's going on ends up figuring out something that's pretty damn genius. I hope that made sense. Don't be afraid to be brand new at something. And if there's somebody that can't compute, maybe you're helping them reboot. Pull that plug, help them unlearn something that was programmed. And maybe by example, showing them there can be a different way to build. Maybe somebody doesn't even have gratitude right now if you were a hard teacher, but they will. Even if they maybe never even get to tell you that. There'll be a moment where they're like, wow, that was one of the most profound, beautiful lessons in my life, even though I was a dumbass in the process and took somebody for granted or didn't see what I was actually being taught on a spiritual level. That gratitude will come through. And if you don't get to hear it for words, you'll feel it energetically. And I kind of feel like even if you were the one helping somebody else out or teaching or trying to, I feel like even that position, you felt gratitude towards, you know, whether you got a thank you or not. So, let's go a little deeper. I feel like I got to get the right deck. Let me go find something that fits. Let me go see what twinkles on my wall. First thing that twinkled was the Soul's Journey lesson cards. I just looked at the little clock up there at 27:27. So what is a big, huge lesson right now that is currently coming through for you? Don't worry. To even me saying that don't, the brain can't compute the don't. So do pay attention to the words. If you say a sentence and there's a don't in there, the brain only resonates with the actual fundamental words. So if you are learning how not to worry, how to trust that you have this beautiful, you know, net to catch you if you take that leap by the divine, this is a big lesson. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. So trust yourself, especially with this Emperor energy, that whatever the outcome is, it's brought into your world for a reason. Is it brought into your life for a lesson? Is it brought for expansion? Is it brought into your life as an actual building block or tool so you can build something, so you can grow, so you can ground yourself, so you can root something? How do you see that same situation? You get to choose as a consciousness how, even if the outcome or the situation isn't maybe what you wanted, or maybe it's even better. People can worry about success just as much as failure. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome, but after an outcome, after the finish line, after you get the trophy or get to the hurdle or the closed door, what's next after that? The wheel always spins. So nice. So I brought this as the other deck of cards, and it can be kind of raw. This could be you. This could also be giving you understanding on what somebody else is currently trying to compute or worried about. It's called Repair, Evolution, and Growth. So let's get you one message from Repair, Evolution, and Growth that would be the most meaningful to here today? What is the most meaningful message to help repair? What is this? Betrayal? That's really big. That would be a big thing that somebody would be worried about if that was past scenarios, or why somebody is afraid to take a leap of faith. What if they're betrayed again? What if they give all of their love or all of their energy, all of their support, and they always have to feel defensive of their truth? Let's see. It's also something that was a betrayal that is revealed to you. Somebody could also be these are so dirty, in the energy of worry because they don't want to know the truth. They don't want to ask that hard question or know that they are betrayed. Because that's a shitty place to be. But if someone's afraid to even ask the question, that's just in that in-between of denial. So the situation will reveal to you the intention behind it. Whether it's you betraying yourself in some way or another person or a situation, you are being asked to unmask, ask that bold question. See the truth in the energy. See the truth in somebody's intentions. If somebody's intentions make you feel funky, it's okay to take a leap of faith in a different way, or pull back the energy of who you were building with or the situation you were in, and, you know, take that checkmate energy with the queen on your own to a different game altogether, or like a different foundation altogether. You're being asked to unmask the truth by removing the blinders that hinder the clarity that is needed. So right now, clarity is key. If you're choosing to have the blinders on, or maybe not even look in the rear view mirror, how are you going to know what's back there? Even if something feels like, oh, you don't know if you want to see it. What if that makes you help make better decisions the next step? Or your next decision will be better because now you have the whole truth. Or now you at least can connect all the dots if you were always reading in between the lines because you're afraid of what was in the in-between. This could also be somebody else. You're ripping off that mask. Or recognizing that maybe somebody cannot compute because they're unaware. Or I just heard Blinded by the Light. That's actually a really good song. I heard Blinded by the Light, and then I went jazz on you guys. I heard Beginning to See the Light. I never cared much for moonlit skies. I never winked back at fireflies. But now when the stars are in your eyes, I'm beginning to see the light. I never went in for afterglow or candlelight by the mistletoe. But now when you turn the lamps down low, I'm beginning to see the light. Sometimes you see that light so much brighter when you're in the dark. So let's get you one final message from the universe, because I'm looking at the time and I gotta go. Final message for you guys. I almost clean these. It's comparing yourself to others keeps you stuck in a cycle of guilt and shame. You know, apples, oranges, peaches, plums. Why I heard like fairies, gremlins. That was so weird. You know, your light is different than anyone else's light. Your light in this life or in this dimension or, you know, in this lesson, whatever you believe, is different than it was because how you are constantly evolving. So if you're in a cycle of guilt and shame, it continues to separate you from your blessings. You have all these blessings that want to come in. Don't separate or sabotage yourself. You know, get your boots in the mud or stand in your own way. It keeps you small. There's also another song called When I'm Small. Phantomgram or something. I think that's the band. Understand that everyone has their own journey. Even if you really want somebody to compute, And they just don't. They're stuck on that old narrative. They're playing that old programming. You know, it's like the first Apple computer compared to your iPhone, or the horse and buggy compared to the UFO. Everyone has their own journey, which is always unfolded in divine timing, which is endless. You know, it's not that human constructive linear time. That's bullshit. Your time will come. If somebody is having success or taking a leap of faith, or already really like, you know, Star Wars warping into their future of blessings, have like happiness towards them. It could be that somebody is warping away from you, giving you the space for you to come into your own, or something inside of you to come through, or you to start to build, or you to see that you never would have expected without that space, or that distance, or that new direction, or the balls to take a leap of faith. With this, I bid you adieu. I hope this was helpful. I love you so much, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Thank you for being a part of my life. I feel so blessed to get to be here with you. Thank you. Bye.